involves so many different people from all walks of life, from politicians to dive guides to tourists to local fisheries officers. And I love working with all those different people towards the same end goal, environmental protection. The Reef World Foundation follows the direction of the United Nations Environment Programme to implement the Greenfins approach in all the different sites, locations, diving destinations where the project is currently active. So we develop the capacity of the national teams and the champions, the various individuals that are involved in Greenfins, through training, technical advice, human resources, and that might be in a remote way from our laptops wherever we might be based, or it could be on site in the different areas where Greenfins is active. Greenfins is currently active across Southeast Asia, Thailand, Malaysia, Indonesia and the Philippines. It's due to spread into the Indian Ocean this year, and we're hoping in the future it will spread even further, perhaps to Africa, the Caribbean. This growth presents challenges for the international coordinators of the project, us, in that we have to maintain the quality and the standards of Greenfins wherever you might find it. There's also the issue of brand recognition, so a tourist that travels to Thailand and dives with the Greenfins Dive Centre should experience the same environmental standards as a tourist that travels to a Greenfins Dive Centre in the Philippines. So that's one of our major roles as international coordinators, to ensure the project is represented properly in all the different sites where it's been implemented.
It works with all stakeholders. It's primarily aimed at the diving and snorkeling industry, or the tourism industry, but it involves all stakeholders. So when I say stakeholders, I mean the local government units, the tourists, the private sector, who are the dive operators themselves, and the local communities that live within the area of the dive and the snorkel industry. A really unique aspect to the Greenfins project is we provide trained and professional coordinators to help support the project, so that once you've agreed to follow the code of conduct, they will actually come to your dive shop and work around your time schedule. We'll provide training to you and all of your staff. We will provide a toolkit which consists of posters to put on your wall to help educate your tourists and the divers. We'll provide flags so people can see that you're a Greenfins member, because tourists now choose environmentally friendly dive operators over non-environmentally friendly operators. But a really unique aspect is the assessment or evaluation system, which is once you have agreed to follow the code of conduct, we ask that the dive centre allows a trained Greenfins coordinator just to come diving with you for one day, just to see how you go diving and how you operate in the marine environment. And it's a very much collaborative effort that works with the management of the diving industry, because it's from the management where change happens and where change can take effect. So at the end of the day, the coordinator will give feedback to the management or whoever's in charge of the dive centre, and we'll give them 3 areas to focus on improving for their next assessment the next year. So the idea being that every year that they always will have 3 areas to improve on. You can always improve, you can always be better. And as long as every dive centre is carrying out these improvements at their dive centre, then they're reducing their threat to the marine environment.
We are the first BRIEFINGS ambassadors in the world!
I think being part of the ambassador program, especially the very first one of my colleagues helped to design that. It was a really great opportunity to expand the project, but also to see the passion that came out of the individuals that we selected, and how that extra little bit of training has really changed the way that they carry themselves around the diving community, encouraging colleagues really to do environmental briefings. And when we listen to their briefings, they're much more natural. They've really incorporated that environmental content into it, which is so much more effective when they're reaching out to guests. Dive centres really have this opportunity to take the responsibility of running this project themselves, which means that as a conservation project, it's far more sustainable and it's going to help everyone in the long term. from dive centres to local communities to anybody who's got an investment in the marine resources. Well, some of our members really go beyond the process of BRIEFINGS and incorporate it into the ethos of running the dive centre, promoting their membership through painting their materials on the walls, the logo and stuff like that, or requesting for extra support to improve the environmental briefings of their dive staff, and even printing the icons on the t-shirts that they sell in the dive shop. Really recognising the value of coral reefs as vital to their business to promote long-term viability of running a dive shop. So as the coordinators are in an area to carry out the trainings and assessments, they also have the opportunity to carry out side projects, things like Say No to Plastic campaigns, beach and reef cleanups, or even helping local governments in carrying out education and awareness campaigns. BRIEFINGS is really so much more than meets the eye.